All right. Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We had to switch a few things up. Our account manager, Kim Perkins, received some pretty devastating news this morning. And so we're just going to send her all of our aloha, all of our energy out to her and her family. And we have Shauna Mucklow here. She was so willing and just amazing to just jump on last minute and help us out with our back offices, because I know a lot of us have so many questions. I wanted her to just kind of go and, dive in a little bit, give us an orientation. And she has to leave in 25 minutes. So I want to give her as much time as possible so all of our questions can be answered as well. And I appreciate you, Shauna. Thank you so much for being here. And then I'll do announcements at the very end. So I'll give you the floor.
You're so welcome. You don't have to say thank you. We are Team LifeVantage. So when Kristen reached out and I could make it work, I was like, yes, let's do it. I got 25 minutes of that time. So let's dive right in, guys. As I'm sharing this, if you don't know me, I live in the middle of Nebraska. So I'm super jealous of all these tank tops and this beautifulness that I see. It is actually 70 degrees today, but it's so windy. So, but I'm headed to tennis. And I've been with LifeVantage for about 7 years, just so you know. I love numbers. I've been an entrepreneur for a lot of years. I used to own a store and lots of different things, but I do love numbers and I love business and I love figuring out how to maximize things and all the things. And I will tell you this, our back office obviously completely changed, right? And I didn't know what it was going to look like until it was here either. But I do want you to know, while change is sometimes difficult, right? I want you to know everything that you're probably looking for is here. It's just in a different place and we have to dig and find it. But I will tell you this, they have formulated a team of people in the field who love numbers and love reports like I do, and said, will you be our committee? And we're going to meet every week and talk about how to enhance this so that when distributors or consultants, look at this, they will see snapshots, but then be able to also go into reports and dive a little deeper. So this will be, the back office is going to be constantly changing. And I hate to tell you that, but it's going to be constantly enhancing almost weekly. So I will just go over a couple things that I think are really important for you to be able to look at on a regular basis. Now, the dashboard right here, dashboard. So when you log in this is my back office. Please don't necessarily take screenshots and share my numbers, but I know my people won't care. So this is the dashboard. And here's what I personally love about the dashboard and what I'm coaching my team to pay attention to in the dashboard. Okay. So your first right here, my sales volume. So you'll see that by clicking on sales volume and my sales volume. You can access your back office, just so you know, from mobile, obviously, and desktop. So when you want to run reports, do it from desktop, but all of this is, you can see pretty simply on mobile, which I do love, because in our old back office, it was not mobile friendly. So at least that is friendly now to us. So what this is going to show you, this is confusing to some people. So your personal sales volume, this is actually going to change because they have this title wrong. This is going to be called personal purchase. Okay. Because really this is your personal purchase. Please know, in this new compensation plan, this can be zero. You do not have to, there's no requirement for a personal purchase anymore, but this is going to show you how much your personal purchase is. And you can take up to 150 of your own personal purchase towards your group sales volume requirements. So that's what this means right here. Okay. Then it's going to tell you what your seller title volume is right here, seller title volume. And that will be all these beautiful gem ranks that we're trying to achieve to get these personal sales bonuses, right? So it's going to show you here what volume applies towards that. And it'll be the gemstone that you are, the seller title rank. Over here, everybody's asking me, what the heck, why this over here? Some of you might have volume over here. I do not. Mine's 0. And what would be here is there are several, we're in 19 countries with LifeVantage, right? And there are several countries that don't have the Evolve plan as the compensation plan. So if you have customers that are buying from you in some of those other markets, that aren't on the Evolve plan, it cannot go towards your settler title volume. So that will be broke out over here. Okay, so that's what this little cross is at the end. And if you went down here and read it, it's going to say non-Evolve markets. Okay, so but everybody's asking me like, what is that? And so that's what that is. Mine's 0, so I don't have to worry about that. Now over here at the top, which is, this is the big number to look at. So people are also confused, like why is this different than this, right? So mine is 6281. And that is my requirement, my total sales volume that can go towards qualifying for my consultant path ranks. Okay. Which would be like MC1, MC2, SC1, right? And so what this is all of my customer volume plus my personal purchase all combined. Okay, that's what that is up here. And it's telling me right now that I only need 200 and I have 6,281. The reason 200 is here is because I don't want to confuse anybody, but anybody who's paid attention to the Evolve plan, that's because we're in a transition right now. That number is going to be 300 for most of us after October, but we're in a transition period right now through September. So right now it's only 200. You can use this right here to toggle back and forth. Like you want to know what you need to do to get to presidential, it's going to show you. You just have to toggle these back and forth. It's always going to default to show you what your next rank is. And so right now I'm working on EC2. And so it's going to always show me like what's it going to take for Shauna to hit EC2. Okay. Then to go down here. So that's just your sales volume. They've broken it up into 2 different things because we kind of have 2 sides of the comp plan now, right? We get paid for our customer sales and we get paid for our group team sales. So that's how they broke it up. Sales volume is your customer sales personally, and group sales volume is here broke out for you. And this is just the snapshot for you to see. So what's your total volume? What's it take to receive that or to get to that next rank, which is EC2 for me, right? It kind of just shows you your progress here. And then it also shows you your volume sources and how much volume is coming from each source. Okay, really great snapshot. That is my favorite thing to look at. You can look at my group sales volume, but it's a little bit confusing. I'm just going to be honest with you. I would stay out of there if I were you right now. Okay, that's going to get better. So I would look at my sales volume. That's the snapshot of your personal business. So you know what you need to do to get to the next thing. Okay. When you look at Fast Track here, it's going to show you my Fast Track. If you are in Fast Track, if you enrolled from March 1 or beyond, you will have detail here. If you're out of your Fast Track period, it's going to say you have 0 days. You don't even worry about this. Okay. And it's going to show you here personally enrolled Fast Track, which is pretty cool. So all of your personally enrolled people, you will be able to see their progress, which is awesome. So you'll be able to see as they enroll customers, how close they are to that next bonus, as they enroll consultants, how close they are to that next bonus. But it's also, if you scroll down, I want to make sure you see this. You as their mentor, their enroller, you make 15% mentor bonus. So that's going to show you what their volume is and what your earnings are on their volume. So that's not their earnings, that's your earnings, which is really quite cool. And then they also have 2 other bonuses in Fast Track that they're monitoring here for you. I'm going to flip over to one more place because obviously most of you have teams of consultants, right? And you want to be able, I'm guessing you want to be able to see your whole team's Fast Track. Is that something you would want to see probably? Because that's something I want to see for sure. And you can see that. It's just in a little bit different place, and they will be moving this, just so you know, they'll be moving this. But right now, today, you can go into genealogy and click Fast Track right here. And this will show you every single person on your whole team that is in their Fast Track period. Okay. Now, I will bring this up. Many of us know that they are doing like an incentive. So they're allowing everybody who enrolled from November 2022 to February 2023 to be in a Fast Track period, right? We know that. However, they're not going to show up here. Those people that came in before March 1 are not going to show up here. They need to manually keep track of their stuff, and you need to kind of help them probably if you're personally enrolled. Just know they couldn't like figure out the algorithm to bring all those people in, but keep them separate, right? So they just made a decision that everybody from March 1 would show up here. Everybody else that's in their fast track period that enrolled previously, we just have to manually keep track of, but they'll be out of their fast track. All of them will be out of their fast track by the end of May. So only a couple months to keep track of. Okay, the next thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand where to find is clear down at the bottom. When you scroll clear to the bottom of your page, new member summary. This is something that everybody needs to pay attention to, right? This would be, if you're familiar with our old back office, we had a member summary, right? That a lot of times we got in there, we wanted to know who enrolled that day, and were they consultants, were they customers, like what are they? That's your new member report and where you're going to find them. So under reporting, new member, or anywhere you are in your back office, just scroll to the full bottom and click new member summary. Okay. And that's going to show you who enrolled them, what if they're a customer consultant. Then when you click in, you will be able to see a few details, which like what they ordered. Okay. That's the major stuff that I would tell you to pay attention to on the dashboard. Now, I will show you a couple other cool things. Dive a little deeper. If you go to full genealogy, you can find this anywhere. There's 100 places to get to full genealogy, but right over here, this blue clicker, everything there's a little arrow, that means you can click on and go somewhere else. So view full genealogies here. You can go there. If you click genealogy, you can go there. There's a report at the bottom to get there, but it's called detailed genealogy or full genealogy. Okay. This is where you can see everything in your entire business in a spreadsheet format. Okay. And I love spreadsheets. Some people, it makes their eyes gloss over, but I love spreadsheets. Here's the cool part. If your spreadsheet does not look like this, if your genealogy does not look like this, and you can't even see volumes, because I'll tell you, when you first open this up, all you're going to see is a name, an enroller ID, the last order date, and their rank. And you're like, where's their volume? How do I know anything? You got to add some columns. Okay. So don't freak out, because you can see everything you need to know. So up here, there are 3 different things that you can click on. I'm going to click on each of these and show you what they mean. So organization means you can focus on just particular organizations. Right now is my ID number, but let's say Sara was on my team and I wanted to look at just Sara's organization. I just put in Sara's ID number and it only shows me in my spreadsheet Sara's organization, which is really cool to be able to help. Like if Sara called me and said, help me figure something out in my business, that's what I would do, because I only want to look at Sara's business. Okay, that's cool. The other thing that I use here all the time is you can look at your entire organization. You can choose to just look at consultants or customers. Okay, that little drop down menu is great. You just click update report and it'll give you the view that you want to see. Okay, columns. There is so much that you can put in your report. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want, because this is what I think is super, super important. I'm sorry, my daughter is texting me. Let me just text her quick. Text me is what I'm going to tell her. She's calling me. So this is what I think is super important to have and be able to see in a quick view, in my opinion. If you wanted to add any of these other things, you certainly could. But this is what I think is probably important, but also not overwhelming to see in a report. So you can click update report and then click this right here, this little floppy disk says save my settings for next time. Then every time you come back here, you're always going to see this view that you want to see, because there's nothing more annoying than you going through all of this and then clicking updated report, not clicking save. Then the next time you come back and you have to do it all over again. That's annoying. So make sure to hit save. Okay, so filters. I'll be honest with you, I don't use this a ton. You certainly can. And this would filter your organization down into like the micro. I'll be honest with you, unless you're probably a presidential or a Pro 9, you probably don't need to really look at the filters. I'll show you how I use kind of filters in my own way that I think is really helpful. So this is what I get to see. And please know that every single one of these is clickable. All the blue things. So you can filter and make them in numerical order by any of these columns, basically like a sort in Excel. You can sort by any of these columns that you choose to. So for example, I'll give you a few things like right now at the end of the month, here is what I'm doing. Okay. At the end of the month, I want to make sure everyone is qualified to get a check, right, in my organization. So that's what I was just doing right before this call. And so I clicked on CSV because I know if somebody has 0 CSV, that they don't have any customer sales, right? And we know that in order to get a check, it beyond consultant 1, they have to have customer sales. And so I'm sending out quick text messages, right? Saying, hey, heads up. I just want to make sure that you know that you're not qualified. And if you want to talk about that, call me. Let's talk through it, right? Like, so that's one thing that I'm doing right now. Maybe that's something you would want to do. The other thing that's really fun is scrolling down, sorting by that customer sales volume, but scrolling. Sorry, I think I'm going to have to go to the next page. I do have a big enough organization. Yes. Hold on, just hold tight. Let me get to where I need to go. So I'm just going to the next page is all I did. So I just clicked that drop so I can see like 200 to 400 of my people, that number. So I would keep scrolling on CSV until I got, you can see right now I'm in the hundreds, like these people have 100. I'm going to scroll until I'm close to 500. And I'm guessing you probably know what I'm doing. So I would call all of these people that are in the 400s and I would say, you're close to Onyx, right? You're close to Onyx. You can make an extra 5% if we help you right now go enroll a couple, 1 customer, 2 customers, whatever that looks like, right? But I'm going to call every single person that is within at least 100. So then I'm going to keep scrolling, right? And I'll do, oh, I'm at the bottom of that page. Sorry. Let me get to the next page. And then I'm going to keep scrolling and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to call every single person that is like probably here down. 889 is pretty darn close to 1,000, right? So I'm going to call all of those people and I'm going to say, you know that you're, this much away from that next seller title, which is a great amount of bonus. So that's how I'm going to help search and help people hit the next seller title at the end of every month. Then obviously you could do the same thing. This says OV, which is an old term. They're changing this to GSV, maybe today or tomorrow. I can't remember what they said, but this is going to say GSV, which is our group sales volume. So you could do the same thing. You could click on GSV or OV right here, and you would be able to then figure out, I'm going to go the other direction. Sorry. You would be able to figure out, you would go then, you would look at your book right here, right? To what does it take to get to the next level, right? The next consultant path, SC1, SC2, and just start doing the same thing as what I just did. Like, oh crap, like this person, the next rank that they can hit. Well, it's not that one. That's not a great example because she's already past the rank that she wanted to hit this month. But this person right here, right? Like 18 is pretty darn close to 20. Right. So let's reach out to that person and say, all right, let's dig into your business. Let's see what it takes to move to that next rank so that you can get that extra. And here's what I do. I tell them what they're going to get. I look at that level bonus and I said, instead of this percent, you're going to get this percent. You know what I mean? Because in the Involve plan, the thing that I love is every time you rank advance, you are going to see an increase in pay. It is not just like you hit a rank and then when you build your business, you'll see an increase in pay. It's literally going to be an increase in pay like that. It really does make sense to rank advance. So that's what I'm kind of doing at the end of the month right now, making sure I'm seeing where people are for seller titles and seeing where people are for like overall rank. Any quick questions? I think I have like 5 more minutes. Any questions that came in the chat? I can't see the chat or anything, Sarah. Do you guys want me to answer?
That was very, very phenomenal information. I'm sure somebody has a question out there. I didn't see in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Debbie Cottrell, you raised your hand. Can you unmute?
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shauna, for sharing today. The question that I have is in regards to, because we've been looking at the back office and looking through our consultants to see where they're at to try to help them, but been calling the VIP line numerous times to try to get an answer. From what we understood, that because of this transition phase, when the volume needs to be either 100 or 200 personal, that if our personal order, let's say we needed to have 100 and our personal order was 150, that we were covered even without a customer. But when we get to that past the transition phase and there's 300, then obviously our cap is at 150. And so we would need to have a customer at 150. That was the information that we were given. So I'm just wanting to clarify if our CSV, if we have to have a customer this month, or because we're in the transition phase, that we're okay if we don't, but we still meet that minimum. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I'm unfortunately going to tell you, I don't know. I don't want to tell you with 100% certainty because I haven't dug into the transition qualifications too much because it hasn't been a big deal for my team. So I've just kind of like, I don't want that in my brain. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
I would definitely confirm that with corporate. However, my understanding was it's a 200 instead of 300 qualification in transition, which would tell me that if you want to be paid in the bonuses more than a consultant 2, you would need a customer. Like you would get a check, you know what I mean, based on a rank of a consultant or consultant 1, but to go beyond a consultant 2 because of the 150 purchase cap and the meeting of 200, that you would need a customer. That's my understanding, but confirm that with corporate.
Okay, thank you.
You're
A
welcome.
question to add on to that, maybe, so a customer or just an increase in volume?
No, customer, because if you go and look at your, do you guys have this book? Do you have this Evolve brochure? Okay, so if you have the Evolve brochure, my favorite page to look at the consultant path is actually the level bonus page, number 16. You can also get this digitally. What I did, I hope you guys probably already done this, but just take a picture of this and put it in your team group in case people don't have one of these. But that's my favorite one because it breaks down everything on there. It shows you what the qualifications are for each rank and then also what they're going to receive in level bonuses if they increase. So tell me your question one more time.
Well, I was just in alignment with that. So is it a new customer or an
Yes.
increase in volume? Like
Nope.
if you got a bunch of new customers last month and they're adding onto their order, right? Like,
Oh, well, yeah, you don't need a new customer as long as it's coming from customer volume. Yes.
right. Okay. That's what I was just trying to clarify. Like,
Yes, you don't need a new customer. It will not, there's nothing in our new comp plan that says you have to enroll a new customer every single month. It's volume that comes through that month from your customers. Doesn't matter if they enrolled 6 years ago or today.
got it. Okay. Just increasing volume.
Well, the reason I said no is because increasing volume that's not your personal customers. You know what I mean? If it was coming from your team, your consultants, then that wouldn't count. You do have to have a certain amount of customer volume to rank through the comp plan.
Right.
Yes. Where are the minerals? Okay, I have one more minute. One last question if anybody has one.
Go, Kamile.
Basically, it's just to reiterate, because this keeps coming up, just to how you're sharing with your customers, I mean, with your consultants, in regards to getting MVP, because you do have to actually purchase 40 personal volume in order to actually receive that. So we're just trying to re-emphasize this over and over again. So if you can share how you are sharing that, even though we don't have to personally purchase anything particular, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'm just letting everybody know. I wrote up a little thing, right? And I'm just sending it out to everybody who would be close to MVP qualification, making sure that they understand. Because MVP was written for the old comp plan, they just kept the incentive in the same. Like I hate to tell you, I think MVP will go away after however long it's supposed to be going for. I think through September. I do believe it's going away and then just being called something else, but it will integrate better into the Evolve plan. So right now it's kind of overlapping an old incentive with the new comp plan, and they can't change all of this in the algorithms to like pull people's numbers different. So unfortunately, to reach MVP, we do all still have to have a 40 personal purchase, because that's what it took to reach MVP. And that needs to come from yourself if you're trying to reach MVP, and any one of your consultants that's one of your qualifying consultants in MVP needs to also have a 40 personal purchase. But that's why I hate to say it, like the company didn't even think about that, you know what I mean? Because they were like, well, this incentive, and it just, the requirements didn't match up, but they didn't want to take MVP away early because they told it, you know what I mean? It's just, it's kind of one of those weird wonky things that we're just gonna have to flex through.
Thank you so much, Shauna. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
That was actually going to be one of my announcements, the 40 PV to
Oh, yeah.
integrate that. So thank you for clarifying.
Awesome. Thanks,
that.
guys. Thanks for
Thank
having me.
you. We'll see you later, Shauna. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey. Well, that was a lot of information. So I'm sure we can stay on longer because I feel like some of us may have more questions. I can try and answer as much as I know. I know Kamile is pretty well versed in it as well. I think Carrie, you had a question in the chat. I can't see it now. Where is it? Oh, regarding old customers. I know how frustrating that can be. We have a ton in our back office that, you know, are not coming back. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to be able to erase from our back office, because unless that customer writes to corporate that they no longer want any ties, we're just going to have to deal with them in their back office. And you can filter, you can filter in your back office, subscriptions and active customers, or when they last ordered. That's what I do in order to look at who is actually ordering in my back office.
Do you want to show me how to do that?
I totally can. Should we stop recording or should I keep recording? Oh, keep recording. Okay.
I was able to remove a customer just by calling them and telling them that that person wanted to be removed, but I don't know if they want us to do that for everyone.
Oh, that's good to know, Rachel.
I think also that you can write to, I think, compliance to remove the customers.
Oh, so you would have to probably do a list of people that have not been active, okay? Because I know that distributors or consultants get removed after a year of not ordering, but customers, they stay there forever.
So just write to corporate and then have them removed with the reason, because I have some, I had some who died in a way.
Right. I have a lot too that are not in there anymore. So, but I do want to reiterate the free shipping thing, because especially for us in Hawaii, shipping is incredibly high. I reached out to a few of my customers, even my mom didn't know. She doesn't pay attention to her emails, and she's like, what? Free shipping? I'm going to order, so just make sure you reach out to your customers today and tomorrow to make sure that they know about that. And let me see, Susan, maybe you can share your screen and share that. Oh, tax documents. Yes. Can you share? I actually don't even know. Oh, there is a little tab. Yeah, that has tax documents in there. Let's see. Let me open my back office. I don't even have it opened. Unless you have it open, Susan, real quick. Let's see.
I don't.
I was just paying attention to Shauna.
I was hoping you could whip that out because I couldn't put my finger on it right this second.
But you know that it exists back there?
I thought it was through Hyperwallet, but I'm not totally sure. I thought somebody's already pulled it. I thought,
I don't, you mean like our 1099s?
Yep.
You know, I don't think it is back there, to be honest, because I remember researching that before and I had to go directly to Kim. Oh my God, it's making me sign in so many times.
okay. I feel
Um,
like one year we pulled it off of Hyperwallet somewhere or the back office. I just can't remember.
Oh, maybe it is through Hyperwallet. Man.
Mary
On
says
that,
I had to call the home office and they emailed it to me, but
Yeah.
Is that the case for everybody?
Yep. I think that's what I did with Kim. I had to have her email.
Yeah,
email it to
for
me.
me as well. I had to call and then, or email, and they would send me my text things.
Oh, and the only thing I see in the back office is legacy donation tax info. So that's just if you donated to legacy. Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I would just call.
I do know that if you made less than $600,
Right.
they send it to you. So,
You guys know you can download all the hyper. Yes, Sarah. Thank you. Yes, you can download all your hyper wallet transactions.
will we need that for taxes? The hyper wallet transfers?
No.
Well,
You
it's
just need- you
it's
just
like the
need
idea.
99.
Well, sorry, if you use it for business, then that's how you can keep all of your business receipts in one place. Is if you use that card for business, then that's all your business expenses.
Gotcha.
So that's all I'm saying.
For your
Okay.
expenses, right? Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Great.
Sarah, to avoid like every time I switch a page, they make me re-sign in.
Yeah.
And when I back up, it goes all the way to the beginning again, and then I have to sign in. One lady from Seth's team said she just changed her password, and it got better. And it did get better when I changed my password until signing in today. So I didn't have to keep signing in, but
Oh,
so now I
interesting.
need to change my password again.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, it goes completely back to Flex Cloud every time. So I don't know if that has something to do with our cookies or our cache as well, you know, in our website. So does anybody else have any questions? Did I answer? Any questions?
I have a question. Is there any place that we can tell when a customer's next shipment is going out and how many PV it is?
Yes, but the crappy thing about that is that when you do look at that information, it gives their ID number. So if you know, it doesn't give their name. So let me go here. I'll go show you how to look at that in your back office. Where did I just go? Share screen. Okay, so when you go to subscription overview report right here. Gosh, no, not that one, sorry. Subscribers. So you can tell, you see over here, it has their ID and it sends out when, it doesn't send out, it sends out when their next batch is gonna go out and it shows the amount. So unless you know what their ID is, then that's where you can find that report.
And what is the batch number? Like, what are the 10s and the 20s and the 1s?
That's when it goes out. So like the 5th, the 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the day it goes out.
Okay.
And then
Are-
I'm actually sure in reporting, there has to be a way to do that as well. Like non-subscribers, I just did the subscribers. You know, when it says, when you go to your reporting, detailed genealogy, I'm sure you can filter it to a place where you can look up when their next order, like remember when she showed us those filters, that has to be on one of the options as a column when their next order is going out to. I hope that helps. I'm going to stop.
Possibly on subscription status.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like, just have to play around with it, you know, and I know it's a little confusing for us, but I hope this call was a little helpful. Does anyone have any other questions or comments or announcements? Incentive trip, those cheat sheets, I actually printed them out, and I actually printed out the way to get the points and how to maximize your points. So at least I can have a visual. I highly recommend doing that too, because it's just, there's a lot of ways to get points and it can get really confusing. So yes.
Hi.
Oh,
Thanks
hi.
so much. Hi. Thank you. That was really good. I need to go back and watch it. But I'm just somehow like clicked on my reward circle customers.
Mhm.
Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
And did you, because I have like two that their last order was January. Wasn't it February that they had to enroll by or have a subscription for? Or am I confusing the month? Was it January?
I thought it was February too, and mine looked confusing as well. And there's some people in there that made a subscription, new customer in February. And then in March, it's saying that it's not in their reward circle. I almost feel like it's a glitch right now. And
Yeah, I
there's
think it's a glitch because there's two people in there that
now.
I don't even know who they are. So
Right. I think maybe they're working on that right now.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could it possibly also be that they had a subscription, but it was going out bi-monthly? So that they didn't have something that shipped a month, but then was set to ship, so that they had something in place.
That
even if
could
they didn't
be.
have an order shipped.
Yeah, like they held it off for 3 months. Yes. True,
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
I think also if we just like pretend like there's a big like yellow strip across the top of the website that says under construction, I think that will kind of help everything. And we just kind of give like realize that like even Shauna was like, oh, this is gonna change tomorrow, you know?
Right. Totally.
Yeah, I get that.
I think
Well-
it's also important to remember so a question that's come up on our team is we're still getting paid on February volume. You won't actually see what the results of this evolve comp plan for the first month until next month.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm telling everybody, be patient, take a breath, let the system work. It's really hasn't even been a month. We feel like it's been a month because it's like, oh, it's happening, it launched, but you're not going to see all of the dust settle until next month.
Well, and I think, we were going into, Tara and I were going into like the commission summary, and it's a little bit more confusing now, and how we're getting paid. It's just, there's a lot of ins and outs, and I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting for it to get all ironed out. So I think it's just patience with our company. What is holding tank? Holding tank is where you have your new customers who sign up. They will be in your
consultants.
Or consultants in your holding tank for 30 days. And that's where you could place them. So now we're not placing customers anymore, right? So basically for consultants to be placed and have a leg, or wherever, if you have a family leg and stuff like that. And you only have 30 days to move them without getting, you can move them in the future, but you have to pay a fee.
And do all the 9 signatures.
It's a bit of a humbug.
Do it before the 30 days.
Do it before 30 days. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful weekend. I think
Carrie, we can still move consultants, but I don't know if that's how we're doing it through the holding tank. I have no idea.
I know that holding tank may disappear for all we know. So it's only consultants that we can move now, because we all have our buckets or barrels or baskets of our customers. All right.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys. I'm gonna stop.